What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. If it says Hololive, you can be certain that I'm going to be checking it out. We're going to be taking a look today at the Weiss Schwarz Hololive Ambassador set. Basically where they took a couple of the girls from Hololive. They took Kiara, Muna, was it Suisei, and Miko. And it's basically an entire little trial deck thing based off of those four girls, and it has like SPs, quote unquote, from what you can tell right here. Actually, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Where, say, the one for Kiara right here has her little Kiki love from your favorite CEO. So I just think that's like really cool. I'm gonna like try to see what the little messages are for each of them if I can. But yeah, so this is confirmed to be coming out in English. I'm recording this way ahead of time, so basically when the trial deck drops, I will be picking up those. From what I can tell, it's supposed to be like a pre-constructed deck, more along the lines of what the Bang Dream anniversary little deck thing was, not just like a trial deck plus. But, you know, it's still really cool. So we're going to look at each of these cards today for that. So basically looking at a trial deck. So the first is going to be this where it looks like it says Happy 15th Anniversary. 001K Kiara. When this is placed on the stage from hand, choose one of your Hololive characters, and this turn it gets 1500 power. And when this attacks, you can choose a Hololive character to gain 1500 power as well. So this one's all about boosting. But it looks really good. Like the SP for this looks really cool. It says PR, but it's a signed PR, which is really cool. There's supposed to be chances, like how it was, like I said, with the Bang Dream deck, where there's basically you get the thing and like two of the cards in them are supposed to be like the shiny PR stuff. So obviously the ones with the little signatures like this or the little stamp or whatever are going to be worth way more. So we'll take a look at each of them as they come up. The next one is a Muna and Kiara. Is a 0015. When this is sent from stage to the waiting room, you may pay the cost, which is 1. If you do look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose a card amongst them, put that card into your clock, send the rest to the waiting room. And then if you put a card into your clock, you get to salvage back a Hololive character from your waiting room. So, little wonky for that, but you kind of get to choose which card you deal as damage, as opposed to, pay 1, deal a damage from the top of the deck. Oh, look, it's a climax. You know, it kind of sucks at that point. So you get to possibly dodge hitting a climax to your clock, and then you still get to salvage something back, which is really cool. Then there are 2 climax combos for this. I have taken a little bit of a peek. The next is the 1-0 Kiara. Is a 4500. During your turn, if all of your characters are Hololive, this gets plus 2k power. When this attacks, if you have a particular choice trigger, which we will show off the climaxes and everything as well, and you have another Hololive character, you can discard a card. If you do, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 Hololive characters or a particular event called Cherry Blossom. From amongst those, show them to your opponent, add it to your hand, send the rest to your waiting room. So just very good. Be able to try to get some advantage off of that. And lastly, so this Kiara is very interesting. Which, okay, I didn't realize this was another little thing. Hold on. This is really cool. I really want to zoom in for this one. So, where it says, spread the Weiss Schwarz love. You can do it. And, it's like just her cheering on. And I think I also thought this was really cool where they have them holding like a Weiss card like they did for, there was like, what set was it? Oh my goodness, I can't think of the set. The Kaguya-sama Love is War one. Oh, it doesn't have the, no, it does have the picture. So, sorry, I saw the choice trigger as well. We'll check that out in a sec. There was like a couple Kaguya-sama cards that had them holding Weiss cards as well. So I thought that was kind of cool. This is basically like a mirror copy of the Matsuri from, I think she was from Volume 1. But it's a 3-2-10K Kiara. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, your opponent sends all their stock to the waiting room and puts an equal number of cards from the top of their deck to their stock. Everyone's running that Matsuri specifically for this effect. They at least tech 1 in just to kind of have that threat looming over your opponent's head. And then up to once per turn when you use an act, this gets 1,000 power times the number of your opponent's back row characters. So it could gain 12k. But anyway, let's zoom back in. to the promo version. But this is basically the climax is a choice trigger, and it looks pretty cool, like overframe, or like a borderless promo kind of rare thing. It's really cool. So Kiara has two little signature things for the set. Next we have a Suisei and Miko. It's a 3500-00. If you have two or more other characters, this gets minus 1500 power. It actually gets weaker. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this to an empty front row slot with a character across from it. So it runs in front of people. Even like the PR version, it looks really cool. Like also the parts with these that have like the little like stained glass window effects and everything, looks really cool. The art for that is nice. Then we have a 1-0-35 Miko. When this attacks, you can pay 1 to twin drive, which is perform trigger check twice. And when your character's trigger check reveals a climax, it doesn't have to be her, it just says your characters. So it could be her or someone else. Choose one of your characters and it gets 2k power for the turn. Then we have a 2-1 Miko. It's a 65. Two abilities, a plus 2k to level 3 or higher characters in front. Okay, she does have the little thing. We'll take a look at that in a second. Oh, she has two. She has two as well. Okay, so there's actually very nice chances of getting basically kind of like a faux SP, but at least it's not just like a hot stamp, like, oh, here's the symbol of Hololive, you know, whatever. At least it's not that. It looks like it's like actual like signature thing. Like I said, we'll zoom in a second here. And an active rest this, choose one of your Hololive characters, and he gets 500 power and the following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, look at the top part of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room. So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at both of these at the same time because there is like two back to back, and I realize my head is blocking it. And then a 3-2 Miko is a 35. If you have two or less climaxes, she gets -1 level in hand. If you have two or more other Hololive characters, she gets 7k power. So she comes out as like a 10-5. And then on play, look at up to X cards from the top of your deck, choose one card amongst them, add it to your hand, send the rest to waiting room. X is equals to the number of your Hololive characters. So, alright, let's take a look at these little things right here. Obviously, where Kiara, you know, is able to speak like fluent English and everything, or at least her version of English, these are all written in Japanese for this. So more than likely, Suisei's is probably gonna be Japanese. Maybe Muna's will be like I don't know exactly what language she speaks, but I know she's from. She was originally from ID. So this looks really cool, and these are really pretty. All right, let's go back. So this is the Cherry Blossom event that the Kiara referenced. Is a red 1/1 event. If you don't have a Hololive character, you can't play it from hand. Your entire deck's Hololive. Which I actually have another funny point to make. Once we get closer to the end. Search your deck for up to one Hololive character, show it to your opponent, add it to hand, and then you send this to memory. Then, if this is in your memory at the start of your main phase, you can discard a climax specifically to add this back to your hand from the memory. So you can potentially just kind of loop, being able to just search for whatever card you need, like whatever character you need. It's really cool. Oh, that is so cool. I did not notice that earlier. Okay, cool. Sorry, like I said, we'll show in a second here. So we have a Muna getting into the blue. So this entire deck's red-blue. Is a level 0 or lower bottom deck reverser. And it has an alarm ability. If it's on top of your clock at the start of your climax phase, you can choose one of your Hololive characters. And that this turn, it gains the ability when the card's battle opponent is reversed, you may send that character to the bottom of your opponent's deck. A little bit of removal. We gotta zoom in on this. I just noticed how cool this is. Okay, so I don't know how well this is gonna come up for the recording. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more for this one. Where it says, let's play Weiss Schwarz together. And she drew, I don't know if she drew it or someone else did, but she drew a little picture of her holding Weiss Schwarz cards. That is so cool. I don't know if you can see that. That is so neat. I want one of these. I want one of these so much right now. That is so cool. And once again, like I said, she's holding the Weiss cards as well. It's just so neat. I think the Miko. Okay, not these weren't holding Weiss cards. Maybe there's another Miko that was. I don't know. Let's see. All right, so now we're down to the Suisei, and an actual fucking brainstormer, not just the typical trial deck shenanigans of for every climax you mill draw a card. This is a much better one. First off, which this combos really nicely with your level 3. When a climax is placed on your climax area, choose one of your characters. This turn it gains the following ability. When this card attacks, look up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 card amongst them, put it back on top of your deck, and send the rest to your waiting room. Remember this effect, this particular effect for later. It actually has some play with another card. And the Brainstorm is a pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax you get to salvage back a character. Not your typical, like I said before, it's not the draw climax Brainstormer one. Then we have a Suisei, which is just, this is so cute. Once again, we'll zoom in a second here. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, pitch 1, salvage back a Hololive character, then choose a different Hololive. It gains 1,000 power. And when a climax is placed onto your opponent's climax area, you may send this to stock. So let's take a look here. The Suisei looks so good here. So I figured she would be writing in Japanese and everything. So that's really cool. So let's take a look. Continuing here. Apologies, I didn't think I was going to be zooming in and out this much for the video, but it's kind of necessary. Oh, we got okay. So here's we got 2 back-to-back here. So I'll look at both of these at the same time. So we have a 1/0 1500 Muna, but the first thing it says is this can be played without meeting color requirement. So you can just toss it down whether you have blue or not. Really cool. 2 different act abilities. Discard a card and sack this to salvage back a character from your waiting room. Or rest, which you can do both of this in the same turn. Rest it to give a character 1,000 power till the end of your opponent's next turn, which is really cool. And then this is a reprint, basically, of the Suisei anti-change backup, but it's, once again, Suisei. But that's, totally cool. We are not going to complain there. But it's a 2,500 backup. When you use the backup, you can discard any 2 cards and choose one of your opponent's characters with a level higher than their level and send it to the bottom of their deck. So, all right, now let's take a look at both of these. So the first one, the Muna. Okay, so she does say something. I don't want to just like say it's just Indonesian. I don't know what the, if there's a specific thing for it, but she does say it in her native language is what I'm going to say without, being culturally inappropriate. But I love how she draws the faces and everything right there. That's so cool. I'm leaning into my screen and everything. That is so cool. I want both of these. Obviously I want the Suiseis as well, so I'm not going to complain. But once again, this looks really cool. All right, let's continue on. Let's see. So we have, it's just 2 more cards. Okay, so this Muna, the 3/2 Muna is the one that the Suisei Brainstormer can combo with. So it's a 3/2 10k, on play heal 1, always good. When this card attacks, if you have the Pants trigger in play, and you have 5 or less cards in hand, we do have a number of cards in hand condition. Choose one of the following effects and resolve it. So this is very interesting. Reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a Hololive character or Cherry Blossom event, burn your opponent for 4. Just off the rip. Okay. At the end of this card's attack, if the character across from this is reversed, you can pay 1 to burn for 2. Very nice. Really cool. But let's go back to that Suisei really quick. So it says, when a climax gets placed, choose a character. It gains the ability, on attack, look it up to 2. One of them goes back on top of the deck, the other goes to the waiting room. So what you could do is you could play 2 of these, have 2 of these back row, drop at least 2 of the Munas right here, and then when you play the Pants trigger for her combo and everything, each of the Suiseis can give each of the Munas the top check ability. So that for free, on attack, you can choose the order of which effect goes off first. So you can choose the top check effect, look at the top 2, see, okay, look, one of these is a Hololive, one of these is the Cherry Blossom event. You specifically put that one on top, so you're guaranteed to try to burn for 4. That's really cool. The synergy for that is very cool. And like I said, you can pull it off a guaranteed 2 times. And if you tri-field the Muna, maybe the last one can go for the burn 4, or maybe the last one can go for the burn 2. Whatever looks to be the most beneficial in that situation. But basically, the effect goes off as long as you don't reveal a climax for this deck. So that's really cool. And just to show, I just kind of want to show how the climax looks and everything. Sorry. So that looks really cool. I really love how this art looks and everything. And obviously the Muna looks awesome. I have to go back to the... The first one looked the coolest, where she drew the Weiss cards and everything. Like, that is so cool to me. And just the smug little like, I love that. But just all of it I love. I just think is so cool. I know this shit's gonna be like expensive or something. But like even ones like this, where it's like the actual, what I'm assuming is like actual signatures and stuff, not just like, oh, the manager created it or something. No. Which this is gonna be really cool to have as a neat little like. I could see this particular one having a price tag, like I said, because it's going to be a reprint of the Matsuri effect, which everyone's trying to run anyway, just to have. So it's really cool. Anyway, I've been ranting for a minute, but I am eagerly waiting when this drops because I want to see which ones I can try to pick up. I'm probably going to grab a couple just to see what my odds are of maybe trying to get some of these little, they're promos, but they're like basically faux SPs. What they have the messages written up here and everything. That's just how I look at it. I don't know. To each their own. But with that, thank y'all very much for watching. We got more Hololive on the way because there's another fun thing I'm going to be recording in a second here. So with that, we will see you on the flip side. Peace out for now.